Hello, beloved soul. Are you a wisdom keeper or a wisdom seeker? Wisdom seekers are on a soul mission to teach and share their unique gifts in their own authentic voice, while wisdom seekers are on a mission to receive from visionaries and need a place to find these teachers. Truthfully, wisdom keepers and wisdom seekers alike need a place to build community, connect, and grow. You're invited to enter into our sacred social network at Meraki Tribe Collective, an evolutionary shift in online platforms. Meraki is an intentionally curated online space for conscious community to connect, collaborate, and co-create, featuring a mindful marketplace and private social platform where wisdom seekers can find and wisdom keepers are found. Meraki platform is no-brainer affordable and offers simple-to-use tools that require minimal technical skills and maximum opportunities for connection and transformation. Check out the links in the show notes and be sure to mention you heard about us on In the Woo World. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. I am Wendy Woo, the host of In the Woo World. And on today's episode, I wanted to read this really interesting story. It actually is a true story. And tie it back to why we encounter so many different challenges in our life. Could our challenges be connected to our past life? Could our challenges be connected to parallel lives? Let's talk about self-care. I have to share a couple of my favorite daily life hacks. That's brain tapping and InHarmony vibroacoustic technology. This technology has been an absolute game changer for me. These devices have proven to reduce stress, improves clarity and sleep, and I experience more energy and I feel rejuvenated. Brain Tap is a headset that adds a whole new dimension with restorative power light therapy. Brain Tap sends gentle light pulses that travel through the ear meridians and the retina, which sends signals to the brain. The headset guides you into an amazing meditative state in alpha, theta, or delta. Use BrainTap technology alone or with the InHarmony vibroacoustic meditation cushion or lounger. Connect with yourself and release stress while you optimize your overall well-being. Click the links in the show notes for great deals and more information. Welcome to In the Woo World, where we explore all things woo-woo, taboo, and real cool. I am your host, Wendy Woo. I'm a former dance junkie turned certified intuitive life coach. I have this ability to peer into the Akashic field, where I receive and share insights on soul stories and hidden truths beyond our time. This podcast is for you, beloved soul, the one who experiences deja vu, divine timing, with a deep sense of knowing that your soul is eternal. This isn't New Age, it's the Golden Age, where you receive ancient wisdom and profound teachings and apply them to your life in the here and now. Welcome home. I came across this story through Carolyn Myss, who is a wonderful intuitive. She has written several books on the anatomy of the spirit, as well as a medical intuitive, and is able to take archetypes and connect these archetypes with people. You know, we all have a list of archetypes that we embody. And now my episode today is not about the archetypes. That could be something, down the line. But today I wanted to really just address how our lives, our current lives, are impacted by another life. Our relationships, our illnesses, our physical disabilities, things like that can be traced back to a past life or certain karma that we're needing to address. Cause and effect, that type of thing. It really depends on which circle you're kind of talking to. In different circles, they have different meanings behind things. They either say it's cause and effect or karma, but whatever it is, it's energetic. And these energies can create and manifest into different challenges or pathways. And we here, if we're experiencing these things, if we go really, really deep within our psyche, and look within our own Akashic field, within the Akash, we can find certain energies and then address it, okay? Really learn from it. So this story was on a YouTube channel, and I just wanted to share it with you. And from what I understand, it is a true story. So I called it the Guru and the Devotee. So here we go. A devotee to an enlightened guru announced to the guru that he was ready to become enlightened. He had traveled a long way to deliver his message in person to the guru. "Ah," said the guru, "is that so? Well then, come and stay by my side and see the world as I do. But you must not question a thing I do or say." Young Devotee agreed, thinking this task would be really easy, as he was convinced about the guru. He thought the guru was so enlightened that he understood how the laws of the universe kept the multiple ecosystems of life in place and why God allowed events to occur as they do to all people. Now, the guru met with all of his followers every day to give blessings and to hear their prayers as they requested help. He often selected people for healings during this time, and the devotee began anticipating whom the guru would heal, thinking certainly he would choose that person who seems so weak and that person who's been here all day, day after day, looking and waiting for a healing. The devotee was absolutely convinced the guru would heal the crippled child brought to the ashram by his mother. Day after day, he was passed. But the guru never seemed to notice his mother and this child. Finally, the devotee burst out with frustration and said, "I don't understand how you can look into the face of that mother and not heal her child. Can you not see how they are both suffering?" The guru looked at him. He said, "Are you questioning me? I see them. Do not question what I do again. This is our agreement. Remember?" While walking a few days later, the guru and his devotee came upon a young man crossing a field who fell into a deep hole filled with snakes. The devotee and the guru could hear him screaming with fear. He shouted for help, but the guru, who could have easily saved him, stood on the road staring across the field, completely motionless. Of course, the young devotee, disregarding his agreement, pleaded with the guru. He says, "Why don't you save this man? He is in pain. He's screaming. He is frightened." The guru looked at him. He said, "Why are you questioning my actions? I hear him shouting. You're breaking your word to me. Don't do it again." They both remained on the side of the road until the screams of the man fell silent and he died. Then the guru walked away. A few days later, a beggar came up to the guru, asking for food, and the guru refused to feed him. Again, the devotee, seeing his suffering on the face of this hungry beggar, challenged the decision of the guru again. "Why did you not feed this hungry man? We have plenty of food, and we can share it with him. That's not right. It's just not right. We have so much, and again, you are challenging me. Why don't you feed him?" The guru paused for a moment, and he said, "Go away from me. Get away. You are not enlightened. You walk through this world only, seeing only yourself, only your pain, only fearing your own hunger. What did you see when you looked at that mother and child? You saw only your own pity and heartache. And that is what you wanted me to stop? You did not really see who those two souls were. Why, they had to endure the pain in this lifetime. They abused crippled children in a previous life. They sold them into slavery without any mercy. That mother needs her heart opened. She needs to feel love for a child, and that crippled child was once a human being who made his wealth off the broken bones of those children. The guru said, they are being healed, but it is through this life that they have been given the opportunity to heal. You take this challenge away from them in this life, they will learn nothing. Not even you will learn anything. As a matter of fact, all three of you will feel better. But what good is that? Have you learned? You wanted me to save the man in the snake pit so that your fear and panic would stop. You did not even consider whether the man should be helped or whether helping him was a wise act for his soul's journey. It was you that you were thinking about, and only you. Save me, you were begging, and not really to save him, you only thought about how you felt in that moment and what you were feeling while you were watching him. And that is the truth. The devotee was stunned by the guru's response. He wanted to defend himself, to apologize because he did not realize these things. But the guru would not let him. The guru said, "You think helping people should always be offered to someone? Should it really? Why do you believe that? Why do you believe that you should always receive help when you scream help? It is just as likely that God is telling people to walk right by you and not help you, as it is that God directs one other person to stop and to help you." The guru went on to say, "You are not ready to bear witness to the wisdom of God. That man whom you would have pulled out of the snake pit was coming to that village only to do harm to those people. He was a vengeful person, filled with darkness. Now, all those good people in that village will go on to live blessed and wonderful lives because he did not make it across the field. He only had evil in him. You would have been responsible for all of their deaths by saving that evil man. By saving yourself and that beggar, you would have felt so much pity for letting this whole family starve to death while he ate all their food. Now it is time for him to know the suffering he put them through." The guru continued, "You are still too weak to witness the wisdom of God. You still want your own justice to prevail in the world. You think this world should be ordered according to your personal feelings. Feelings. Your feelings. Emotions should order the world. Because you're feeling bad, the world should do something? Your feelings? Not wisdom. But feelings should dictate the world. Emotions. Emotions, they are not even worth anything. They change second to second. If you're upset, you think events should be righted so that you feel better regardless of what is unfolding. And in many lives woven into the journey, that's your life. You're still guided by whether you're happy or sad, calm or upset, warm or cold. Why is it that your feelings are so important? Why should they determine the destinies of so many people? The guru went on to say, "Were people born to ensure your happiness? Would you like it if they had the power to change your life because they were unhappy? Would you like that? Because someone else was unhappy or angry, they could change your future. But I'm unhappy, so I want you to have a different life because I'm unhappy. I get to change your life because it makes me feel better. Would you like that? Isn't that what you want half the time about other people? And further, are you suggesting that God is a fool and is unaware of what is just, unjust, fair, and unfair? There are no accidents in this world. There are only catastrophes. There are no mistakes. All choices have consequences. All consequences are eventually balanced. So, the guru finally says, go away from me. Until you develop the strength of spirit to detach from your own sense of right and wrong, just and unjust, and you own desire to make things right for you and you alone, then you'll be able to see how life is truly ordered around the wisdom of God, working things out for all people. Wow, 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 what a story. What I find very interesting is that there seems to be a bit of harshness to it. But what can you say about that? No one says life is fair, because it isn't. And so to summarize this whole entire story, it's really interesting because the story revolves around the young devotee who claims to be enlightened. He wants to be enlightened, and he approaches the enlightened guru to prove his claim. And the guru challenges the devotee to stay by his side and to see the world as he does without questioning his actions or his decisions. Initially, devotee agrees, thinking it's going to be easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. However, as he spends his time with the guru, he becomes frustrated and actually falls into some pain. when he observes the guru not helping others who he thinks should be assisted. And the devotee questions the guru's choices, such as not having the ability or wanting to heal the crippled child, or not wanting to save a man trapped in a snake pit. And in response, the guru chastises the devotee. He's like having to point out that he lacks understanding the wisdom of God. And the guru explains that the suffering of individuals and the devotee wants and needs of feeling that he needs to help, they are experiencing the consequences of their actions from a past life. And the guru emphasizes that everything has consequences. The universe is perfectly balanced with no accidents or mistakes. And the guru criticizes the devotee for being driven by emotions and personal feelings, seeking to impose his sense of justice on the world. He advises the devotee to detach from his own sense of right and wrong. And only then will he be able to see how life is truly ordered around the wisdom of God, working things out for all people. As the story concludes with the guru telling the devotee to go away until he develops the strength of spirit to rise above his own desires and understand the greater wisdom at play in the world. And the story serves as a lesson about detachment, acceptance, and the importance of understanding the broader context of life's events beyond personal emotions and judgments. As I reflect on the story, I can't help but recall, from my Christian upbringing, and I don't want this to sound dogmatic or anything like that, but there is, the story in the Bible where the man is crippled, he's laying on a mat, he's begging, and he's basically invalidating himself. He invalidates every aspect of his entire life. And he's told to pick up his mat and go. How many times in our life do we need to figure shit out? I hate to say it like that, but yeah, we got to figure our shit out. There are circumstances that happen in our life that actually are crappy at the time, but there's a silver lining and they end up completely benefiting us in the end because there's something new that happens. There has to be a paradigm shift because you're either suffering or you choose to know that you are experiencing something. You're choosing to suffer or you choose to experience. And it's in the choosing of the experience that you can shift your paradigm and change the entire energy around that. Now, if you're listening to this story, you might be reflecting on, the minutia in your life. Okay. And that's fine. You need to. We all need to. So I'm going to add another story of a circumstance or a reading that I know that I did, and just kind of apply how I see things sometimes when I read the Akashic Records. Because basically what the guru was doing, he was reading the past life. He was reading the Akashic Record of these people as he was encountering them. And I mean, seriously though, this is kind of like an ouch story, right? Where, wow, the person's dying in a snake pit and this person's begging and look at this child and his mother. Where's your compassion, right? Then again, how many times do you drive by a homeless person on the side of the street and you don't give them money? Okay, it's just as equivalent. Somebody will, if it's meant to be. If you're called to do it, great. If you're not, then don't. But each and every single step is a divinely led step, and there's some consequence behind that, whether it would show up to be a blessing or not. So I want to bring up this other thing. From what I understand, it was a true story. And we can reflect on areas in our life where there is a great deal of suffering. There's illness, conflict, loss, and grief. And for me, as an Akashic Record practitioner, this is where I can look into someone's Akashic field or the quantum field and see the energy of such suffering. And then we pinpoint the energy. Is there a sacred contract that's attached to this? Is there a vow? What is the reasoning and what is the root behind the suffering or the relationship? And what people need to be very conscious about and understand when it comes to reading these past lives is that the full details of all these relationships, the full details aren't always necessary. What's really important is having conscious awareness of the energy, the energetic level, and know that these are contracts. And these are contracts to be resolved in the here and now, in this lifetime. And many times people are paired in with family, friends, a family unit from a previous lifetime in order to learn how to fully love and respect one another. These relationships and past life entanglements are very interesting. You can have an enemy in this lifetime. I mean, someone you can't stand in the here and now. And I can do a reading on them. Or you can see like a circumstance or a scenario in your life, and you have an enemy in your life, and that person could actually turn out to be a past life friend, a best friend in a different time period. And the contract between the both of you was made for you to resolve something in this lifetime. Now, I know a lot of what I just spoke about just seems very harsh. So I'm going to shift over to really more common type events and circumstances and matters of the heart, really, because I can't really think of anyone who has not suffered from some type of heartbreak, getting cheated on, misled, that type of thing. So I do want to talk about sacred contracts when it comes to infidelity. And it's really interesting because it sucks at the time. It really is horrible to go through any divorce, any type of breakup, especially if you're completely blindsided by someone's actions. And what I encourage people to do is always try to look at the silver lining. What is the message? And then learn how to transmute and alchemize those feelings to where you shift your paradigm. Living a healthy life is all about choices, from the food we eat, the drinks we sip, as well as the skincare and cleaning products we use. Personally, I'm very sensitive to cleaning products, candles, perfumes, and air fresheners. Many brand names affect me negatively. Sneezing, coughing, watery eyes, and I feel my throat is closing up. Luckily, I was introduced to Young Living Essential Oils, an amazing lifestyle brand offering non-toxic products beyond essential oils, from cleaning, skincare products, cosmetics, and supplements. Young Living is the world leader in essential oils, embodying seed-to-seal standards for conservation, regenerative agriculture, distillation, and testing. Click the link in the show notes and experience non-toxic products today with Young Living Essential Oils. And so I'm going to share this story with you, okay? Here is a young, attractive married couple. Very good-looking couple, right? And the woman is very beautiful, kind-hearted, and to the core of her being, she's a people pleaser. And the husband to the woman, he's tall, handsome, talented. He's the provider. He has his good qualities. However, he doesn't appreciate or fully respect women, including his own wife. His attraction to the opposite sex is purely physical. He puts the worth of a woman on her physical appearance. It's all very surface level beauty by societal standards, by what the magazines and the TV says or states that is beautiful. And he wants the perfect complexion, the toned body, the rockin' hot bod in a bathing suit, and how the woman can submit to him and meet his needs. If his needs aren't met, then the verbal abuse, the passive aggressiveness, and sometimes it is aggressive behavior is to follow. He has these tendencies to be narcissistic, overpowering, and he comes across as very arrogant. He uses his words and his knowledge of his wife's insecurities to condescend and emotionally abuse her. Not only does he do this in private, but he does it in public. He does it in front of her friends, and he's done it in front of her family, his family. And the sad part is that his behavior is kind of tolerated by his own parents and members of his own family because that's what his dad did. So you can kind of see it's a generational thing. Of course, the relationship, it starts to get rocky and the wife can't relax because she's in this perpetual state of anxiety in the presence of her husband because he is criticizing her. And so she's always wanting to please him. So with this constant emotional abuse from the husband, the wife and his close friends start to, get close. They're spending time together. They're laughing. They're drinking. They're all going out. They're clubbing. There's this closeness there. And so what do you think happens? The friend sees that here's this beautiful woman who's so kind. And of course she has her weaknesses. But she doesn't really deserve to be spoken to and walked over like a doormat. So over a period of time, they develop a closeness and a close relationship, and they end up having an affair. And so when the husband finds out, he actually walks in on them, right? And he's so incredibly shocked because it's his best friend. He's like a brother to him, right? So the husband finds out, and of course, they can't resolve their differences. She's done. She's checked out. He can't stop, and he never could stop, praising how beautiful other women were. And ultimately, the marriage fails. They divorce, and even the friendship, of his friend is lost. So what do you think the circumstances were behind all of this? Do you think it was an accident, or do you think it was divinely planned before any of these individuals were actually born in the flesh? I think that it was all chosen before you were born in the flesh. How do we know this? I mean, when we come here, we are born in this state of amnesia. We drink from the well of forgetfulness, and we come through, right? It even says in the Bible, he's going to wipe every single tear and you get a new name. Yeah. And now some people might say, oh, hold on. That doesn't mean we are reincarnated. Oh yeah, says who? It can apply here. Your interpretation could be different from mine. Doesn't mean that yours is fact. Doesn't mean mine is either. But how about we just look at the similarities here? Let's just say, for instance, you end up coming here, you don't remember because you've been told that there is no past life, but you feel in your gut that you've experienced something. There's some deja vu, right? There's an energy, there's a familiar, there's some familiar ties with other people. It's in your DNA. It's in your energetic blueprint. We come here with an energetic blueprint. And it's in these lessons that we need to manifest. And we manifest certain things because of these energies. We manifest lessons that need to be addressed. And these are addressed at an individual level. And our experiences are our own. It doesn't make it right or wrong. We have to experience what we experience in order to overcome the discordant energies, the karma, the cause and effect. It can come in from a past life. It could be actually developed from a lineage of ancestral trauma. So the contrast is needed in our lives to build the character of who we are and of all who are involved. And it doesn't matter really the details of the story. I mean, some of them help, but your ego wants to know more, but it doesn't. And it's really the energy that you are, and you and I, like you and I are just feeling this, because it's kind of an ongoing thing until we become conscious of how we can dictate and direct our days. We prepave our way. And we can prepave our way with our energy. But going back to it being a past life and you're pulling it in, you're pulling it in unconsciously, and the energy is there, and you have to be able to witness and observe the energy in order to let it go. And letting go of the energy is what is the key factor here. So in this story, we have this energy of betrayal. Okay? Betrayal would hopefully spark some type of self-reflection for every single person involved, even the person who got cheated on. They need to reflect too on, how did it come to this point? What is your role in it? Everyone has a role. No one is a victim. The number one thing is that people think they are a victim and you're not. You have a role too. And so just like the person who invalidated their life, who laid on the ground, who groveled in their supposed illness, which was really a mental state, they had to pick their ass up and get on with it. Well, so do you. No one's a victim here, but everyone does have that victim energy. Everyone does. To some degree, you do. So here we have this energy of betrayal. Here we have this husband who now has to go on to appreciate and respect women and forgive his best friend and his wife. He has to stop invalidating that he's a victim and stand firm in knowing that, hey, I had a part in this too. Maybe I didn't appreciate her enough and I chased her away. The characters are there. The characters of the best friend and the wife that are in this story, in this case, what they played, in fact, was to also help him. It was to help him develop as the man that he could be, showing grace, being loving, and also experiencing forgiveness. Forgiveness towards his friend and his wife, and for himself for being a jerk. And then what happens to the wife? Well, she has a very valuable lesson to learn too, because she's not just the victim as well. She needed to learn as well. Maybe she wasn't narcissistic and speak ugly to him, but she has to learn how to value herself through creating healthy boundaries and, learn not to be reckless with anyone else's heart. She had to learn how to create boundaries with the person she was being intimate with her husband. And she couldn't stand in her authority or her own ground. She couldn't stand up to him because he was so overbearing. And of course, the friend, he had to learn boundaries too. He had to learn boundaries as to not steal or take what wasn't his. He allowed his physical attraction. It went far beyond physical attraction too. But there's life lessons there. And I'm sure in the end, what I see is that all of that happened. There was an agreement before there was an incarnation for the husband to experience what it was like to truly forgive someone, to truly come to a point where he appreciated women. And in that, those two people, the wife and the best friend, they agreed to be the ones to shatter his ego, to shatter his heart, He didn't learn it. Unfortunately, in the lifetime, there was no resolve, but he had to go on to another relationship. And was that same pattern going to be played out in another relationship? Oh, yeah, more than likely if he didn't learn his lesson. Yes, it will. It will continue on until that individual learns how to take responsibility for his actions and for how he treats other people. The same thing with the wife. If she doesn't resolve her energetic mishaps and patterns, she'll cheat on the next guy because she didn't learn her boundaries. She continued to be a people pleaser and a doormat. And all for what reason? So she lacked the responsibility for herself. So what's important is that we have conscious awareness to these patterns and these energies. And then we have to choose what is best. This is key to our personal development growth. It's most important with our spiritual growth as a human. So the beautiful thing about working with your Akash, with the Akashic Records, is that it provides an opportunity to reflect on all of your relationships, not just intimate relationships, not just relationships with your friends, but it's relationships to yourself. You need to know yourself. It's the relationship with your money, with your career, with your kids, with your community, all of it. It's also an opportunity to heal these relationships and the ancestral connections across several generational timelines, going backwards and going forwards. You are a powerful creator. You, if you don't want to say that you're a creator, okay, but I'm sure you can say you can co-create. But you are here with your feet on the earth, and you do create meals, you create a mess, you can create order, you can create a baby. You do create and manifest by your energy and what you put forth. You do. So we are all little gods running around here. So with your feet planted on this beautiful earth, you have the ability and the authority to observe and initiate any change you want. You transmute the energy and experience a shift in your paradigm. It's at your disposal. Yes, it can be done. You are that powerful of a creator, that powerful of a human being to do this. It's ordered for you to do it. But humanity has forgotten. They think that the responsibility falls onto someone else's shoulders, and it doesn't. You are a universe within a universe. Actually, it's more empowering and transformational work. It's the most transformational work that anyone can do for themselves, is just to take responsibility and say, what's next? How can I shift this? And then when you shift it and you overcome, how great, how empowered you feel. So that's what you can do with your field, with your quantum field, with the Akashic Records. You can shift that energy in there. And things come up. They come up quite a bit, They do. But this is where it's a flow state that you can get into. And it's very healing. You can heal so much of yourself and so many relationships when you face it and you say, I'm here to do it. I can do this. And you ask that the greatest part of you, the source creator God, help. Because they do show up. But things don't interfere. All steps are divinely led, even the ones that don't seem to be so great. So I think that's it for today. If you'd like to have an Akashic Record reading with me, please check the show notes and click all those interesting links down there. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and I think I even have a TikTok. Even though TikTok ticks me off, I still show up there from time to time. And you can look out for me, Wendy Woo, and we can dive into your divine blueprint. So until next time, may you be blessed and may you pass every test. Thank you for tuning in today. I am your host, Wendy Wu. If you're interested in receiving an Akashic Record session with me, please reach out to me. All links are in the show notes. I hope you received great value and insight from this podcast on In the Wu World. I do appreciate your time and support. In order for me to continue to create more content like this, and if you're being led to do so, you can support me by sharing this podcast with other like-minded people, family, and friends. Also, I do accept donations. Click the listener support link in the show notes so I can continue to do my research and bring forth the intuitive content you crave to know more about, or book a session with me. Let's support each other through this beautiful exchange in energy philanthropy.